Hey there, friends and fiends. It's been a very long time since we've made any content. This is not really an update video on that, mainly jumping into some deep principled things that's going on at hand. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know what's going on in the D&D community, generally speaking. If not, I highly suggest checking out D&D Shorts and Ted from Nerd Immersion. Those guys have covered it beautifully. And almost every single content creator I can think of has released something in regards to this event that's happening. And it's because it affects us all. And it affects all of you that did watch us, anybody who was interested in what we were doing. So I just want to walk. I essentially want to do this with you guys and to have this here as posterity and just putting your principles first, putting your money where your mouth is, and just showing that dedication that content creators, but also just TTRPG enthusiasts, players, which is what James and I are, really at heart. This is what you should do. This is absolutely the right thing to do, and this is the level of principle, standing up for your principles and embodying it, that we should have in the world in general. So we're just here on D&D Beyond, and we're gonna cancel our annual subscription. We have like everything on here, and so here we can give our feedback, which is really nice. Okay, so I'm gonna go with obviously other. Our description, we only have 400 characters. I'd love to just blow this up. Give me like one hot minute to like think my thoughts through, because I don't want you to just like be sitting here with me on this, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. I had a hot second to write this out. So what I'm choosing to say to them, not that they'll ever read it, but the overall direction by Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro is something I can no longer support. Both as a content creator, professional dungeon master, and player, this is not the Dungeons & Dragons I stand behind, and one I will no longer choose to support, promote, or use. As an investor in Hasbro Inc., I will be selling my shares today as well, as I have no desire to invest in a morally destitute company. Solid. Then another thing that I can do is go and delete all our content on here that we have as well, which I'll be getting to in just a hot second. But so that's that. Also, fuck your cookies. Pardon the language. Now, as I had mentioned in that little message, I do have just one share in Hasbro Inc. And the reason behind that is I've always been a firmly principled person in general in life. And I believe if you really like something and you use a lot of their services, then you should be an owner of that thing that you use, not just being a full-on consumer, but also actively supporting with your money, in a sense, like a part of yourself, giving a part of yourself to something that takes from you all the time, right? So if that's just kind of how I feel about it, in a sense, in terms of how I've gone about some investing that I do when I have spare money to do that. Always invest money that you're willing to lose. Just PSA on that if you didn't know that. But yeah, this is another thing about principles. Sometimes, and a lot of times in life, it comes at great costs to people to actually act in an altruistic, principled manner. And that's why when we should, a lot of times, even though people will do the proper rhetoric, they don't take the necessary action. And so that's why I'm here doing this, is to show that James and I are men of action, and that's how we operate in a principled manner. It's how we are. It's the very fiber of our being. So as we can see here, we have our one stock of Hasbro Inc. It's currently at $65. which has dropped off quite considerably from the surge that it had last year. And you can see that if I'm to sell it today, I'll be taking a loss of $27.71. Now, I'm going to just try and use my dyslexia in my advantage and sell that. Yes, I want one share to be sold. There we go. It's trying to tell me that, hey, it's at a loss. Are you sure you want to do this? And I'm going to confirm that order for us right there. All right, there it is. She's done. Boom. So, that feels good. And at the end of the day, you take that loss because the principle is what matters more. There's more value in that for so many reasons. I don't need to stand on a soapbox here and continue to expound that. But I just wanted to show you sincerely from James and I's like principled hearts, where we at, where we sit. James couldn't be with us here today because he is working hard at trying to make a good life for himself. And that's just a little something, little snippet now. Like if you're done watching the D&D Revolution, Rebellion, you probably tune out here. If you guys have actually been viewers of ours for some time, then stick around for this last little part. This will just be a little PSA. But for James and I, we've been really, really busy the last 2 years of our lives. We've been going through a lot of turmoil. As you guys know, the type of YouTube content creation that we put out was specifically just reviewing DM's guild content and promoting content creators in this space. So you can imagine with what's going on in the D&D space right now, like we've been very hurt, we've been very upset, and we've been very vocal with each other about what's been going on. But we've been very busy building our lives outside of D&D, which is why we haven't released a lot of videos in a long time. And specifically for people who had sent us their works to be reviewed, I'm sorry that we did not get around to doing it, and that's all I'm going to be able to comment on. But it's all been for the best. We've been coming out of it the other side as positive as we can be. And so I just wanted to send my sincere condolences to people who had sent us stuff to be reviewed and that we did not get a chance to review. And honestly, in the future, more than likely not going to be doing that because we're not going to be supporting this company in any which way, shape, or form. And unfortunately, DM's Guild taking 50% of revenue to Wizards of the Coast, I can't support that anymore. And the next part that I'm going to do is my works that are on the DM's Guild, I'm going to be taking them down because primarily I want to protect my own works. I don't want Wizards of the Coast to just be able to steal all my stuff. And the 50% royalty, mainly that, because it's already been up there in a sense. They already technically legally probably own it, intellectually speaking, but just to protect any money going that way. So a lot of you guys might actually not know what we've been really involved in over the course of the last 2 years, but James and I have been silent activists in a sense and creators in the background. We've really never been much for social media, to be honest, and making video content. That was a big step for us, and it was a big experimentation. I'm glad that we did it. We learned a lot about ourselves through that process. But yeah, here on the DM's Guild, if you're to search us up by either our names, so Eric Tkaczyk or James Wright, you'll see a plethora of different items that we've created or helped create. We do a lot of freelancing, stuff like that. I just think in my time here, I think some of my proud accomplishments, my first work that I released and taking my first step at actually writing professionally was the Paladin Compendium. Really happy that I got best copper seller for that. Of all the people who go to create stuff on the DMs Guild, it's it's a very small percentage that actually get any sort of badges or whatnot on there. So that was a very happy surprise, and thank you to everybody who helped promote that when it first came out, and just the kind people that I met in this space. Like, a lot of those people are great friends to this day and will remain so. Another one I really liked working on was the Marvelous Heroes. The Marvelous Archetypes, yeah, and just like all the superheroes and stuff like that. That was pretty interesting and out of my comfort zone, so I really liked working on that. Great people on that project. Allies, Enemies, and Quest, that was a great one. And as well, the absolute hands down most favorite experience that I had was working with Scott McClintock on the Doomed Forgotten Realms series. If you guys don't know that, you've been hiding under a rock. That's a platinum bestseller now. Rise of Vecna. A lot of people have covered it, and it just filled my heart with absolute glee that James and I were able to work with Scott on this as just creative consultants, and just bouncing ideas back and forth, and working on this was so much fun. My God. So that'll be the best memories that I'll take from this experience over the last couple years working on the DMs Guild and creating great content for all of you guys and people that really are into this space and all that. So, but yeah, going forward, there's lots of other TTRPGs that James and I are very passionate about. The TTRPG space is for everyone. D&D could never have been for everyone, which is why we didn't create as much content as we did, because our passions are bigger than that. And the thing is, there's a TTRPG out there for you. And you might have just realized, man, I didn't really like D&D, or I had to really do all of this third-party content to get the D&D that I really wanted. So this is the time to go exploring. This is the time to go try out other systems. It's not that intimidating. Yeah, at first it just requires a little bit of effort to learn. But once you learn and you get into practice of doing it, then you'll find the space for you. There's so many out there that are really valuable, and any IP that you can think of, that space is just becoming far more, I don't want to say saturated, but it's being populated. So there's a Witcher TTRPG. There is Lord of the Rings. There is Soulbound, which I'm a big player of, for Age of Sigmar. There's and I'm a big fan of just anything Cubicle 7. Shout out to my Irish lads and lasses over there that are creating amazing content across the spectrum of Warhammer Fantasy, Age of Sigmar, 40k, as well as even Doctor Who, and quite a few other systems that they've got going on. They're really passionate, amazing people, and they have their Discords are open, so you can go and talk to them about any system that they create, and the creators are right there at your fingertips. I don't know a lot of other companies that have that level of intimacy with their player base, so really I recommend going and checking them out. But there's just so many more. There's so many more. I can't even possibly start listing them off. And there's been other better videos done by content creators. I recommend you guys go and check them out. And support your content creators. Follow them in their new journey of trying to keep their livelihoods alive and developing. For James and I, we've had to go elsewhere. We still have our day jobs. And, we do a lot of freelance writing, and we're involved in a lot of writing projects, as well as in other spaces that I can't talk about right now. It's tough, but hopefully one day we'll be able to kind of share and bring back a lot of content this way. But yeah, just wanted to let you guys know the importance of standing up for your principles, voting with your wallet, and just making it known to Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro that as a community we don't support this and or condone this sort of actions and being treated this way in any way, shape, or form. And that's just as consumers. Not only, like, I know there's been, and I'm so grateful for that, so much focus on the content creators side of things, but even as baseline consumers, that treating us as money bags is unacceptable. Without, like within reason. There's an economy out there, right? People got to make money, like, but within reason. There's no reason for doing this. Things were copacetic, and a simple greed took it to the next level. And that at some point, that's when the axe comes down. They did this to themselves. They have no one else to blame but themselves. They may want to blame us and get angry at us for reacting and overreacting the way that we are. Who caused that? So I'll leave it there. And I'm looking forward to this new age where we get to explore and develop the TTRPG space into something that is truly wholesome, something that's welcoming for everybody of all different stripes, colors, affiliations, anything. There is a space for you where you will be welcomed, feel welcomed, and something that you will enjoy to play and to put your time and free time into making great memories and having good times with great people around you. That's what this space is about. That's what creativity is about. And especially in this crazy age that we live in with ChatGPT and all this creative AI, having the ability to still create things as humans, and the inherent value, even if it is a flawed product, that it's not as good as something a machine might be able to make. The fact that it's human, let's not forget that. Let's revel in that, and let's enjoy whatever it is we want to enjoy in this TTRPG space, and not let corporate get in the way of us having fun, and having fun the way that we want to have fun. So go out there, have some fun, support who you want to support, and let's remember, friends and fiends, that that's what it's about. So take care, sayonara, and this is Eric signing off for Wizardly Warehouse Productions. Farewell.